In this video, I'm going to take you through my top tutor tips to help you pass your upcoming ACCA SBL examination for the September 2025 sitting for the pre-seen information of the company Menucraft. My name is James, I'm an ACCA qualified member, and if you'd like access to my exclusive notes you can see above me that students around the world are using to pass their exam, and I'm going to take you through in this video, click the link in the description and you can download a copy yourself. I'm also delighted to say I'm affiliated and associated with Astranti. They offer pre-seen analysis packs and also mock examinations that are designed on the pre-seen information for Menucraft. Again, those are linked down below. I highly recommend them. And as well, just for pure transparency on the channel, as ever, if you were to purchase anything, I'd be entitled to a small commission, which goes to supporting the channel. But as always, a massive thank you. I hope the revision is going well. Leave me any comments down below, any questions you have, I will get back to you. But let's get on to my first top tutor tip, which is all about a deep understanding of the pre-seen notes. So if you follow this video through all the way to the end, even if you've got the exam tomorrow, these are the key tips that are going to help you out, and we have to start with that deep understanding because one of the main areas where students will fail their SBL exam is because they do not apply the pre-seen information back to the scenario. So if you've got a copy of my notes, you can go through them top to bottom on there, but the key thing for you to bear in mind is, yes, you've got these pre-seen notes and they are very detailed, there's a lot of information, but you must also not forget that on the exam day, there is going to be some unseen information and also requirements that you're going to have to pick up on, those key elements that when it comes to the actual time when you're writing your answer, you have not got time to be going back through the notes. The only thing I'd recommend for you to really be flicking back and going to these pre-seen notes on the exam day is maybe to pick out a specific percentage or an amount or a particular area that you want to select for a particular requirement. That is what I'd be doing. In terms of the deep understanding of the pre-seen notes, when you are analysing the requirements, try to pick up on the key words and the key areas to link it to a particular area of the pre-seen notes. So you can see on the right hand side we've got the risk report there. Anything to do with risk, it does what it says on the tin, but then you've got to just think about it as to you don't have time to go and faff around looking through all the notes on there. So in terms of a quick review and an overview of the key areas, the one thing I want to get down to where you can see lots of the theories to be aware of are the key performance information. That is one of the areas I think that students are going to make a lot of mistakes on. You can see on the right hand side that revenues have been going up, revenue per meal has. However, the actual amount of growth and the meals delivered growth has actually been decreasing. Now, it's all how you actually design your answer and relay that to the marker. But if I was to say to you that you were running your own business and the revenue grew by 18% last year, you'd go, that's pretty good on that. I can take that. But some students will maybe align their answer a bit incorrectly, that they'll say, look, oh my word, it's dropping year on year, which is true, but nevertheless, 18% is still good. And you can see it's the same thing for customer growth on there and orders placed. 13% customer growth, you can see on the left-hand side, still pretty good. However, compared to previous years, it is slightly down on there. Some other areas you've got to get down in your notes if you've got the exam tomorrow and to be aware of where students are going to make mistakes is back up to the top on page 3 on the left-hand side and page 2 on the right-hand side for the other competitors in the marketplace of Ayland. The key thing here is the ones in green. Freshie is an international competitor, whereas Menucraft, Food Dropper and A Meals, they are all based in Ayland on there. Key thing as well, just to make sure you get that in your analysis correctly, that it could be an opportunity for Menucraft to explore into international markets, because we're told on page 2 that this is going to be growing. It's currently worth $25 billion. I'll put my mouse on it now on the right hand side, but it's predicted to grow over $75 billion in the next decade. But remember, that is a global meal kit industry. The last thing in terms of the key aspects for you to not make a mistake on is that it is based on a meal kit industry. What we have here is MenuCraft make meal kits like the company HelloFresh. That is what the case study is based upon. However, there is a little chink in the pre-seen materials. If you go down to page 5, where again, I think a mistake is going to be made by some students. I've put my mouse on it there, where they also talk about in the pre-seen materials, and it could come up on the exam day, about these heat and eat markets. And these are getting more popular with customers in Ayland. Now, MenuCraft don't produce any heat and eat products. These are microwave meals that require no cooking. What we have for MenuCraft is that they produce and supply to their customers these actual packages that come to the customer's house, wherever they get it picked up from, and it is a meal kit. So make sure you get that down in your notes, not to make that mistake. There are lots of models, lots of key figures, lots of percentages that you need to be applying back to the scenario. So if you've got these notes, you can see on the left-hand side there, Pestle, Porter's Five Forces, Porter's Diamond. We'll come on to it later on, but I think Porter's value chain, they've hinted at it in the pre-seen notes. That'll be one for you to get down on there. So number 1, deep understanding of the pre-seen notes. Area number 2 is exam time management and exam technique. You've got 3 hours and 15 minutes for your examination. That goes on about 1.8 minutes per mark. Now, some students who I help out, they like to do maybe 1.5 minutes per mark, 1.6. It's completely up to you, but it's broken down into 80 technical marks and 20 professional skills marks. Don't overlook those professional skills marks. We're going to come on to that later on in the video. One of the main areas that the external examiner says that students fail the SBL exam is because they actually don't attempt 100 marks when it comes to the exam day. And it's a case of, it's got a 50% pass rate, this exam. So for every 2 students who go to sit it, sadly only 1 will pass it. And the examiners say that to give yourself the best possible chance, you've got to have completed your ethics and professional skills module before you do this exam. That's another green tick to help you pass. But actually getting 95 marks, 100 marks done is absolutely critical. That is why I recommend and advocate for you to check out those Astranti mock papers linked below. They are based on these pre-seen materials. It'll be based on meal kits and the industry. And if you do it to time, under exam conditions, I used to do it at the time when I was actually going to be sitting it myself. So if you're actually doing the exam at home or maybe at a centre, try to recreate it in the place where you're going to be doing it yourself on there. Next we have, in terms of the content and the areas like the aspects of the organisation or applying the theories, there are some key verbs that will come up on your exam that the external examiner tells us about. Now, the 3 key verbs are evaluate, recommend, and discuss. All of them you have to apply your professional judgment to. They're looking for you to say, if this happens in a real-world scenario, what would you do? So evaluate is all about what are the pros, what are the cons, weighing it all up and giving a conclusion. Then you've got recommend, which is all about giving a sort of balanced argument with a recommendation at the end. What would the business do if you were in that situation? And discuss, I think, has got a good chance of coming up because that usually links to a sort of SWOT analysis, and you can see it in my notes, especially further on. Down on the right hand side, you can see with the operations on there, lots of positives about how the business operates. Again, looking at the sort of pros and cons and coming to a professional judgment as to what they could improve on. Finally, on here in terms of exam time management and technique, this is from a sort of less technical point of view, but does make a major difference in you picking up on marks, is actually about how you write your answer on the practice platform. So what most students do is they get a bit panicky on the exam day and they just try and write down and knowledge dump as much as possible. Students who I help out, I say, that's fantastic, you've got the knowledge, but it's how we place it on the platform for the marker to actually go through it. And you've got to say to yourself, imagine you had to mark your own work. Does it look appealing? So let's take an example on here. If, for instance, on your SBL exam, there was a 8-mark question, what you should be having going through your head there is, right, I need 4 paragraphs of about 3 sentences, maximum 4. And instead of me putting it in one big lump of writing, it needs to be 4 separate paragraphs. So paragraph 1, leave a line, leave a gap. Paragraph 2, leave a line, leave a gap. And what that is saying is we've got detail in each of the paragraphs, it's nicely laid out, and you're getting the marker to say that first paragraph that James has done up at the top there, can it warrant 2 marks for it? Has it done enough to actually say, yes, I can give 2 marks on there? And imagine the marker is going through your paper, the last one they've got to do on a Friday afternoon. You want to try and make it as easy as possible, so that actual layout structure is going to help you to pick up on more marks and work on your exam time management and technique, which is my tip number 2. Now, tip number 3 is all about the ACCA professional skills marks. 20 of these marks, as I touched on earlier. Do not overlook them. They are in my pre-C notes, as you can see on here. So we've got analysis, commercial acumen, communication, evaluation, and skepticism. The ones that students tend to do really well on, and this is what the external examiner says, is analysis, communication, and evaluation. The ones of, pros and cons. So for your notes, commercial acumen, professional skepticism are the ones you need to specifically work on. Now, what do they actually mean? So commercial acumen is all about applying your answers to the scenario, if it's a particular product or service, whatever it may be, and actually saying, does the student understand the process? So you can see on here, this is why on the right-hand side, they've talked about the subscription process on there, and then later on they've got the actual industry challenges and developments, along with further down the operations and the meal kit box production. That is what you've got to demonstrate in your answer. You've really understood the scenario and you've applied it back to each of the requirements effectively. So that is for commercial acumen, saying what's the industry like, and in this case, as you know, it's going through meal kits. Professional skepticism, on the other hand, is all about, and this is the key word for your notes, challenging the scenario and challenging the requirements on there. Pose a question, actually think about it. I used to have it as I've got a due diligence hat on here. You've got to really put yourself out there and say, hang on a second, is what they are saying true? Is what they're saying really what we want to be going on with? Is this the best practice that could be going on? These are the sort of things from a professional skepticism point of view. Again, applying it back to the scenario on there. And what the other thing they're looking for, and I'll come back up to the contents page for this, is in your answer for the professional skills to actually get them, if you write generically or a textbook answer on there, you're not going to get many marks, if any at all. What they're looking for is a specific answer and applying, and we'll come back to some of the company names on here, applying company names, and instead of writing, and I see this all the time, students write it or they. What you should be saying is, right, Menu Craft or Food Dropper or A Meals or Ayland or Freshny on there. That is what they're looking for you to pick up on those professional skills marks. And lastly, for this point on here, if English isn't your first language, do not panic on there. You are given a leniency in terms of your answer. As long as it makes sense and is structured effectively, you will still pick up on the marks. But it's just applying and being aware of those 5 different areas for the professional skills. It's 20 marks in total, making sure it's laid out correctly. If it's asked about in the report, we've talked about the paragraphs, all those things could be the difference in getting you the 50 plus. So that is my tip number 3, ACCA professional skills marks. Now, last but by no means least, tip number 4 are the ACCA free resources to help you pass. And do not overlook these at all. First of all is the ACCA practice platform itself. Now, why do I say that? Well, you get these pre-C notes. They are given to you on the exam day. Sadly, you don't get my notes for anyone who's thinking, oh, can I bring James's into the exam? Unfortunately, not allowed for that. But I touched on it before. You have not got time on the exam day to be going back and rereading through. You should literally just be saying to yourself, just flick back. But one of the main things for you to take away from this actual tip is do not be wasting time going from exhibit to requirement, all these sort of things. You've got to be as time efficient as possible. And whether you're doing it at home or in a centre, copying the requirement over to the workspace will save you time on there. And that is where Astranity's pre-scene analysis packs come into play. Again, they're linked down below. It takes you through so many eventualities and to help you out with that exam practice. So be sure to check those out as well. The other thing to be aware of, and the external examiner talks about this, is the unseen information on the exam day to consider. So again, you can copy and paste that along with the requirements into the workplace where you're actually going, or workspace, where after you've then written your answer, you can just simply delete it. It just saves you so much time going from, right, go to the exhibit, go to the preceding notes, go back to my answer on there. It's going to make a massive difference. If you are unfortunately resitting the SBL exam, and I had to get this down, be sure to check out the external examiner's report, again available for free on their website, along with, I used to use these all the time, not just for the SBL exam, but for all the other ACCA exams, are the technical articles. So say, for instance, you were going through, let's say, pestle analysis, and you're thinking to yourself, I've been through my tuition provider's analysis of it, I've seen some past paper questions, but I wanted just another way of thinking about it. It shows you the theories and the models in all of the technical articles, and it shows you the expectation of the level of detail that you should be looking to apply. So check those out if you are struggling in terms of maybe some of the technical areas to help you out on there. And last but by no means least is the ACCA YouTube channel. So they have debrief videos going through past paper questions, if there's any updates on the syllabus on there, and of course you've got the website resources to take you through the syllabus and any other areas that you should definitely not overlook on there. But of course, you've also got these pre-seen notes. There are plenty of aspects on here. The main ones I would say is just going through some of the theories. Now, I don't have a crystal ball on there, but you've got Ansoff matrix, you've got Johnson, Scholes and Whittington, 6 capitals. There are a heck of a lot of theories. Some are looking a bit more like, I quite fancy that one to come up. Like the TARA model, that's always about how we manage risks, and we're given a risk report. And the other one not to overlook that we've got to get on record is when you come down to the website extracts, and you've got Porter's value chain on there, which is a strategic management tool. The reason why I say that is, look at one of the values. It says, making positive environmental decisions throughout our value chain. I kind of went, are you telling us that there is a good chance of the Porter's value chain on there? But anyway, we digress. That'll be for another video on the YouTube channel, and that is my area and tip number 4, ACCA's free resources to help you pass. And be sure to subscribe to my channel where I'll be doing more videos and a full tutor guide taking you through my exclusive notes, where if you would like a copy of them, click the link in the description. You can download a copy there and it will take you through all the details. Be sure to check out those mock exams and pre-seen analysis packs from Astranti. Again, link below. But what I've done for you as well, as a final treat, I've left you another SBL video on the screen above. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the other free resources. And I can take a breath now and relax. So I'll see you on the other side, and thank you very much.